You love me like yeah. You love me like oh. You love me like oh. You love me like yeah. You love me like oh. You love me like oh. You love me like yeah. You love me like oh. You love me like oh.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Trinity. Based on the title of this video, you can see that I will be doing the I tried following so-and-so's tutorial and this is what happened. In this video, I will be following Withwendy'S DIY Gucci belt bag tutorial. As you can see, there's a authentic handmade Gucci belt bag. But I know I wanted to do a video like this and I'm kind of off trend, but I was like, I still really want to do one of these, and I started a journey of wanting to learn how to sew about a year and a half ago, and throughout this year I've been doing various different things to teach me how to sew. I did stop for a while because I was like, I suck at this. Like, why am I trying to sew? This is not my gift. Maybe this is not for me. But I was like, no, I can't just give up like that. But yeah, I was like, what better way to do it than to sew my first bag? And the thing I love about Withwendy is I've been watching her for a few years, so I kind of understand her style and the way that she teaches things, and also she's very straightforward and to the point. I will link her channel in my description box in case you want to check her out. I'll also put like a little tiny box right here with her YouTube name in it, in case you want to look her up, but it will be in the description box below if you want to see that. This is how the bag turned out. There will be pictures at the end of the video of me actually wearing the bag so that you can see that. But if you want to try this tutorial, I will also leave the link to the original video in my description box. But I've been talking for long enough. The video is actually not that long, but still, let me stop rambling on and let's just get straight into the video. If you do enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell for notifications. I think it's the bell. I could be wrong. But either way, like and subscribe to my channel.
Let's get into it. To make your own Gucci belt bag, you will need leather paint, zipper, a belt loop, matching thread, and half a meter of faux leather. First, I marked a rectangle that was 21 by 13.5 centimeters. Then I rounded the corners to make an oval shape. After cutting out one side of the oval, I folded it over to trace for symmetry. I used this oval to make a template for a second oval. One will become the front and one will become the back of the bag. Taking a photo of the Gucci bag that I had on my computer, I zoomed in so that it was to scale and placed a paper over the screen to trace a rough template of the zigzags.
So I wasn't listening when she said that she put a piece of paper over the screen and traced the stitching. I went online, found a picture of the Gucci bag, printed it out. I was trying to trace the stitches, which stitches are very small, especially on a printed piece of paper, and trace it through another piece of paper. So I was doing that for like an hour. Nothing was still matching up. So I watched the video again and I was like, how is she doing this? Only to hear her say that she put the piece of paper over the screen and that's how she was able to do it. And that literally took me less than 5 minutes. So apparently I need to work on my listening skills because I wasted so much time on that. So note to self, pay more attention.
We are ready to sew! I took a larger rectangle of this faux leather material, stacked on some quilt batting, and then placed our marked oval on top before securing everything with clips.
I really don't know what I thought I was about to do with these little tiny clips and reach them. I ended up taking them off anyways because they were just causing problems.
I started at the edge of the quilting and went straight towards each of the zigzag peaks, pivoting the needle at those turning points to change direction. As you can see, I sewed right down the middle of the Scotch tape. Once all the quilting was done, I cut off the excess fabric all the way around. This step added that puffy texture that we see on real leather. I originally did not plan on doing this step, but I am so glad that I decided to do it.
This is where I realized that I sewed the patches, like the front and back pieces, with two completely different sewing patterns. And that's what happens when you don't follow directions.
This is how one of my ovals looked when it was done. As you know, I had marked 2 ovals for quilting, so once everything was done, it gave me a front and a back for this bag. Next, I cut out many rectangles, and I've included a link with all the dimensions and this screenshot. Some of these needed to be glued and painted, so I am going to step away from our ovals for a moment to get that done. With the bag loops, I glued these wrong sides together to add some thickness, and I will include a link to the glue that I used. The same was done with the belt loops and the belt. You can always trim them to align perfectly after gluing, and the belt should also be cut into an arrowhead shape at one end. Once the glue was dry, I added a stitch all the way around on the bag loops, on the belt loops, and the belt. After that, I covered the raw edges with the leather paint that I bought. The original bag I was imitating had black edges, but I could only buy red at my store. I think it still turned out okay, but if you want to be even more accurate, you should use black leather paint. So I have these 2 quilted ovals, one wider strip that's going to be the bottom of the bag, and these 2 skinny strips for the zipper top. For the zipper top, I clipped the zipper right sides touching to one of the long strips and sewed that down with a straight stitch. Then I opened it up and clipped the remaining side of the zipper to the other strip and sewed these right sides together as well.
And yeah, this is where things started to go downhill for me in this tutorial. For starters, I'm sewing on the wrong side, so I can't even see what my stitches look like as I'm sewing. So like they're a little crooked, but I was like, oh, it's just because the zipper's in the way, whatever. I don't know what I thought I was about to do. Like I watched the video, I was like, oh, this is easy. I'm about to whip me up a fanny pack. It's gonna take like, you know, a couple hours. But no, this is where I started to butcher the bag. Like you had to sew the exact measurements to get everything right. And I cut the first one a little bit too short, so I was like, oh, I'll just add on, you know, a couple inches. It'll be fine. No, those couple inches make a huge difference because nothing else lined up with it, and it turned into a big problem. Well, actually, maybe not a big problem for all the pieces, just like the bottom of the bag because that holds the whole bag together. But like, as you can see, I made those belt loops a little tiny. The belt still went through, it just didn't look as nice in my opinion. It could be because I'm comparing it to Wendy's, but yeah.
Clipped this oval with the belt loops on the inside to the wall of the bag and then sewed all the way around with a straight stitch. The very last step with the bag was to open the zipper. This was a bit hard from the back side, but I got it done.
In this moment, I wanted to throw this whole bag away. Not only did I mess up the bag, but I ruined my desk with paint.
And now for the belt. I brought the 2 ends together and wrapped the belt loops around them so that they were snug, but the belt could still slide through. I sewed the belt loops shut based on that fit. This was a little tricky to do with my machines.
Yeah, she was not lying when she said that because I tried to sew it in the machine and I ended up chopping my finger trying to sew it.
At the square end of the belt, I used my hole puncher to make a spot for the belt tongue or prong to poke through. The one hole fit, but it was a bit tight, so I did add a few neighboring punches to turn it into a slightly longer opening. Then I clipped the folded belt in place, slid on a belt loop, and clipped it again after the belt loop. I secured all of this in place with 2 straight stitches, one on each side of the belt loop, and that will keep everything locked away. And the other end of the belt, I punched a hole at my waist's smallest point, and then I marked a hole every 3 centimeters. Do take your time to punch. Once that was all done, I could slide the belt into the bag loops. This was so exciting. I was a bit in disbelief that I actually made my own belt. If you ever do this project and get to this step, I really, really hope you feel how I felt in that moment, or better.
Honestly, I didn't feel too great in this moment because I had very high expectations for myself and how this bag would turn out. Didn't really meet those expectations, but I am still glad that I tried out the tutorial. Definitely made me appreciate how much work goes into making a bag, and Wendy is definitely an extremely talented girl. that girl can sew, because this was not easy. But thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video and enjoy these photos.
Are you still there? To delete this message, press 7. To save it in the archives, press 9. To hear more options, press 0.
What are you talking about?